I'm Luke Melke. I'm here with Isaiah Kazarovich. One of the weirdest spelling names, but it sounds really cool if you get it right. Scene 12, take 4. So today we're going to be doing some more improv filmmaking using story cubes. He's a film writer. He started off actually just doing writing novels and things like that. And then he switched over into the more fun world, I think, writing more of the films. And I think he's absolutely amazing with it. So we brought him along today. Also make sure you comment below with any ideas you have about different films maybe we could possibly make, or different ideas to incorporate into these films we're making today. So you want to grab out of the stack?
I can choose any stack?
Any stack.
All right, and then what happens?
And then we roll them.
Oh no.
With our hands and like that.
Oh, okay, and then after we roll them, we do the thing. Okay.
Yeah, then we do our thing.
How about
two of each?
Yeah, 2 of each. This must be obnoxious. Okay, all right. Wait a second. So I'll just choose. I won't look. I'll just kind of choose 1 and 2, and I'll do 2, and oh no, I'm looking. 3.
All right, go give him a roll. See what we got here.
I feel like my fate for the next week is in this roll right here, and if I don't roll a good roll, then I'm just gonna be banging my head against the wall.
Yeah, and he's gonna be the one that's gonna be actually working through the script and actually writing the script this time.
All right.
Give it a roll. Okay, we have here whatever that is. It's really hard actually to do this while looking through the camera. This thing's in position right. So we have what looks kind of like a house, clothes drying in the sun, scary shadow demon-looking creature thing, and a guy with blindfolds, something like that. So
interesting. So we have to incorporate these 4 symbols into a story.
Yes.
Okay.
And we also have to draw a card from here. I'll shuffle them up again. All shuffled.
Oh, good.
And these are our brick wall or limiter cards. These are the things that either gives a genre or a prop or something like that also has to be incorporated into the film. Last time it was a 50 to 100 word script, and that was pretty challenging. So.
Oh, I get it, because once you roll the dice, you run up against a brick wall.
Yes, exactly. So, go ahead and give us.
Okay, I can choose any of these.
Any of them.
All right. Brick wall, here we come. Location interior.
Yes.
All right.
It's getting kind of cold outside. I'm really glad that the location is inside. I don't mind the cold so much, but after a while, the equipment does. My fingers freeze up. So.
I just feel like we really got lucky, because a house. So clearly the location has to be, in a house of some kind. The way that I'm feeling, with a shadow, with someone being blinded, and with someone's blind, putting a tail on a donkey. I hate to say this, but I feel like, this is leaning towards the horror genre. And then clothesline, maybe this is hinting towards some sort of backstory. Or something.
Maybe make it do a zip line. It's just the line is all we have to worry about.
Or
kid's adventure of he thinks it's a zip line.
Maybe a zip line. These are clothes hanging out to dry. So maybe at some point, a character in our story, gets betrayed and he is left hanging there to dry. Literally, maybe he's, when Indiana Jones is left there in the cave hanging by, nothing but his whip or something, that kind of moment. So it could be something like that.
We took some of the time to discuss these ideas off camera, but this is basically what it broke down to. Here are the different items we have, the ghost, the past, the home, and this. You want to tell a little bit about kind of what the notes we wrote down and what these different elements are going to be?
Yeah, so one of the things I thought about for the clothesline is that it's really just, part of someone's past. Now, I realize that people still do clothesline, but to me, it's like a time,
they used to do that thing.
They used to do that. They don't do that anymore. So to me, it's about something that's happened in the past. Then another thing we have here is we have the shadow. Now, initially, we thought, oh, maybe it's a horror thing. But then as we started to think about it, we thought maybe it's, someone who is being haunted by, a time in their past. And then we started to morph it and change it into something, well, maybe it's not necessarily being haunted, but it's something that they're remembering, something that is present with them still, but it's, it's their shadow, it's their past. And so we still have this theme of, looking back into the past, or, the past coming down here to meet us in the modern day. We have this kind of idea. And then we have a house. And I thought, well, everyone remembers, their house, the thing that the place where they grew up. And so we started to think about, well, what if, someone who's trying to encounter their past is, trying to maybe sell their past, someone who is trying to sell their house. And then we got down to this last part, and we're like, for the life of us, we couldn't figure out what that was. It's a guy, and he's blind, and he's trying to, put pieces together. He's trying to pin the tail of the donkey or something. And so then we thought about someone who is blind to their memory, maybe someone with dementia. And perhaps this person is, maybe a grandpa, and maybe, he's, it's his job to, maybe it's time for him to go to the nursing home or something. And maybe his children are getting ready to sell the house that he's lived in for all these years. And so his main goal here is to remember and maybe to connect with his children once again. And maybe it's the children's need to reconnect or to remember, the time that they had and to live in the moment. So that's kind of what that's kind of how we broke down the 4 dice.
And so we're really excited to actually incorporate not only some of these cool memories type of things, but really make something that's relevant to how culture is today, with things being really busy, and that also we really need to take time to remember the things of the past. Like, we don't want to just live in the past, but we also can incorporate some of always the busyness in the moment can be too much. And so what was it actually like in someone's memories of their life as they know it is basically gone. The only life they really have is in their memories, and they're losing those as well.
So let's do this. Let's go ahead and let's write the characters on the board.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so let's do that. So we have,
Switch here.
yeah. So we have a 3 to 5 minute scene. We have, a few characters. I'm gonna write the themes that we came up with over here. So we have characters. We have a grandpa. So we have perhaps his daughter. Then we have her daughter, or her son, or her child. We have I'm gonna say 1 year old.
Also it's almost a conflict of the different themes of memories versus the too much busyness. It really comes down to, we really do need to take time for today, sit down and smell the roses. Oh, I didn't have enough deodorant. That didn't smell so good.
What are you doing?
Not smelling roses, that's for sure.
Oh no. So then what we did was, after we kind of broke down our dice, and after we came up with maybe kind of like the main story idea, we started to come up with potential scenes for our story. So let's do that right now. Let's write down some of the scenes we came up with. So the first scene we came up with, maybe some sort of upbeat moment, maybe some sort of prank that maybe the grandpa plays on his daughter. We're not necessarily going to use that, but it's one of them we came up with.
And then also, when you're writing these ideas, you gotta make sure you're just throwing everything out there. There is no such thing as a bad idea when you're writing a film. Initially, eventually they become bad ideas if you stick them in too long. But just getting things out there and letting ideas flow around. We did it last time as a storyboard. This time we just kind of wrote it on a single piece of paper here. But the more you get your ideas out and let just the creative juices flowing, that's when you actually get your good ideas out of, a lot of times, initially bad ideas. They can then grow up or evolve into good ideas.
We also came up with a scene where the mom is on the phone and she's trying to, talk to someone about business, trying to sell the house, and then the child comes up and runs up and grabs her leg, and mom says, okay, hey, get off of me, this isn't really the time. And at the same time, she's also carrying, a 1-year-old on her shoulder. So she's overburdened with work, stress, her kids, and all this, all right?
And can you explain quick, you're saying a scene. It's now we're talking about like a whole scene where it's 3 to 5 minutes in the scene. It's just a quick moment inside the scene.
A moment, right, good. So, mom, overburdened with kids.
So basically every mother.
Yeah, every mother.
My mom had 5 boys. Whew, that was quite the household growing up with. I don't know how my mom survived that.
Actual moment is mom on phone to sell house, kid interrupts.
And interrupts in a cute way that is cute, but a lot of times doesn't seem or feel cute to the mother at the time.
So we also came up with the idea that the grandpa is kind of zoned out, so he's just kind of sitting on the couch, kind of watching blankly as everything takes place. All right, we also came up with another scene. Maybe we came up with the idea of maybe the toddler, maybe the mom, in order to get the toddler off her back, gives her kid an iPad or an iPhone. So I'm gonna write that down.
The mother gives out a distraction to help the child not be so annoying.
We also came up with this really cool moment that maybe, the baby, the newborn baby, 1-year-old crawls across the floor and gets grandpa's attention, and maybe that moment wakes him up.
This year is going to be kind of that really sweet moment of the grandpa's kind of waking back up and having that connection to the 1-year-old, the generations connecting.
Yeah.
Really heartwarming.
Yeah.
This is where the tears start flowing.
Mom sees it and then decides to not do it.
And we have a lot of other stuff we're working on with some of these things. We're not going to put all the ideas we have because it's a lot of stuff that's not going to fit in the whiteboard.
Right.
But also leave some space for Isaiah to actually write a story that when it comes to it, you're not going to go, oh, I know exactly what's happening, and lose some of the impact of the story.
Exactly.
But once again, still give us ideas if you have thoughts. Hey, maybe we could add something like that. We'd absolutely love to hear from you, and with your ideas, we'll make this a community thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially what we've just done is we've taken all of our ideas from the brainstorm and we broke them down into 4 cubes, or we broke down the 4 cubes, and then we took all of those ideas and we've put them into a few moments, a few scenes. We've broken down maybe a few characters that we might be able to have, and we've come over here and we've developed maybe a few themes that we might be able to incorporate in the story. And so one of the things that I like to do once I've come up with a few ideas for scenes or a few ideas for special moments is I like to take those ideas and I like to move them over and I like to try to plot them out on a story clock. And if you haven't heard of a story clock, go ahead and check out Plot Devices. This is not a sponsor yet. And I get so amused by my own jokes.
Hope we get to the point where we have that pretty soon. But we need you to comment, like, share, subscribe, so we get enough people so they want to sponsor.
If we get 25 likes, we will be sponsored by Plot. No, I'm just kidding. All right, anyway, I will mess it. All right, anyway. So if you haven't ever heard of a Story Clock Notebook, go ahead and check out Plot Devices. They have the Story Clock Notebook, and you can watch those videos and see how those all work. But we're going to basically take our ideas and plot them out on the story clock, and we're going to use that as a tool to help us outline our short film. And the story clock is basically your story in a circle. And so the way that it works is, imagine that up here is page 1, and over here is the last page of your script. And so essentially what you do is you plot out all the points of your film or your story along the points of the story clock. So first you write out all of your ideas, and then once the ideas stop running out, you come over to your clock and you put the ideas in where you believe they need to go. For instance, if you think one idea needs to be your inciting incident, you write it there. If you think one moment is probably your climax, you write it there. And eventually, once you have all of your ideas plotted on the clock, you can fill in the blanks using symmetry. And that is how the story clock notebook works. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and plot our story out on the story clock and just kind of see where all these moments might fall. And this is really the time we're still open to all kinds of ideas. We're just trying to figure out, where might be the best moments for the story. So we're going to go ahead and label this 5. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to plot our story out and just figure out where everything's going to go. So if we're going to do about 5 minutes, let's see, what of these images, what would maybe go first? And I like the idea of putting the grandpa zoned out, observing the scenes, kind of as our opening image. So I kind of like that. We'll just put that right here. Grandpa zoned out. This is his opening value. He is zoned out. He's got dementia. He's deep in. He's not really connecting with the world, but he can still observe. All right. So this is his, that's the way that the story is it's the way that he is. And so by the end of the story, he's going to change. And I really like the idea of that happening kind of at like the climax. When you write that, toddler wakes him up. Yeah, the toddler touch, good. And then, so that's the moment when Grandpa, wakes up. I think that's good. And then we have that nice moment in these areas. The climax, I think, usually occurs right about here. And I think this is the moment when Mom steps in the door frame and sees Grandpa with toddler. Okay? And then this is the moment when she joins them and we see them kind of, come together. And so then this would be the moment when she says, not today. So okay, let's go ahead and write that. Sees toddler with Grandpa. And then this is the moment when she tells her client,
hangs up.
Yeah, hangs up. Yeah, good. This right here is the moment all together. Family together.
This is really hard writing this way.
Yeah.
No wonder you had me write this.
The nice thing about this is over here, Grandpa's zoned out. I'm going to put alone, watching. That's going to really drive home our theme because over here together, over here, we're alone. All right, what else do we have? Go ahead.
So when we have this, we're putting here's setting the scene, setting up what it is, and then how it comes to conclusion is this, the growth of the arc through here. It's going from Grandpa's alone, he feels like he's forgotten, to he's not alone, he's not forgotten. And it has that whole emotional change to this whole thing. So hopefully we as the audience also have a growth through this story.
At what point does the kid interrupt Mom's phone call? Is that here?
I would think that'd be earlier. We see the interruptions here. We talk about here with the memories, give us a little bit of time to replicate these same basic troubles that we see now as annoyances are actually memories for the grandpa here.
At some point, Grandpa's going to be watching the whole scene unfold. So at some point in here, maybe Mom, the inciting incident, which would be here, but how about right here, we put Mom on phone to sell house and kid interrupts. So how about the kid interrupts?
And this helps mirror it then?
Yeah.
Doing this, like the kid interrupts, but then we also at this point see the same thing is seen as annoyances here are memories here, and balancing the correlating of the story, right? Balancing it out?
Yeah, absolutely. And that this is a very, so here kid interrupts Mom, touches her leg, and then we see how the mom reacts versus when the toddler touches Grandpa, we see how he reacts.
This is coming together.
All right, good. So kid interrupts Mom, and I like to think that, obviously down here, she would give him the iPad.
Yep, give the distraction.
Okay, and then obviously we can have, toddler crying here, right? And then Mom puts it down, right?
We need the board to go twist.
So then Mom distracts the toddler as the toddler's crying. So at some point we need to establish what the mom is doing. So at this point, the nice thing is that we have all of the moments that we've planned out onto our clock in a tentative position. So now we can use the power of symmetry to fill in the gaps. Yeah! Symmetry. All right. So over here we have the kid interrupts Mom. We need to know what is Mom doing. So at some point, we need to establish that Mom is on the phone selling the house. So when does that happen? Well, maybe we can put that up here.
Yeah, see the beginning, yeah.
At the beginning.
That's kind of one of the first things we see. Grandpa's sitting down on the couch. The mom, we see her in this background talking. Hey, yeah. You can have it obvious it's the realtor that she's talking to.
Should she be selling the house, or should she be doing the talking to the nursing home. I'm gonna do nursing home. Let's simplify. All right, so we have one perhaps thing. So she's on the phone, and kid interrupts mom. I like to think that when kid interrupts mom, this is her final straw, and so I think that maybe the kid should interrupt her multiple times. Mm-hmm. What do you think? So maybe we have first interruption here at our exciting incident. We have our first interruption here, and this is only about 5 pages, so really we have a 1 1/4 page. By here, I think we can write that. So
yes, you can write that.
Yeah, yes, I can. So this is about 0.5 pages in. We have our first interruption. Okay, and then down here we have the final straw. Toddler cries. I think that we should have another interruption over here.
We're just hearing that constant, the child crying. This is something I feel really bad about. Is like, how do you get the crying sound effect in the film? I have to admit, when my son was really little, if he started crying, we'd try calming him down. If he just wouldn't calm down, we'd pop our recorder out and we actually recorded him crying. Because like, we never want to make him cry intentionally, and sometimes you just need that sound effect. And we want to be like, cry, child, smash his thumb. So we actually recorded sometimes when he was crying, and maybe it sounds bad, but it's better than actually causing a reason for him to cry.
Toddler cries here, he starts crying, and then we see the final straw for mom interrupting kid, and then finally, the toddler cries, and this is her final straw, and then mom distracts. Now we have over here, and we need to set up, the toddler touch. We need to set up, all this, and this is where I think we should move one of our events. I think we should move our toddler touch to right down here to our midpoint. So the reason why I think we should move our toddler touch is because during the beginning we see what the mom is getting frustrated with, and then when the toddler touches grandpa, we see that, oh wait, this is actually a sweet, these memories that the mom is living right now are actually sweet moments that she's missing, and so we can have the toddler touch here, mm-hmm. and then we can literally mirror these moments over here. Mm-hmm.
Toddler touch. Not sure what that is, but it's better spelling than me. And this is the writer doing this.
I know. Terrible. All right. And so to be clear, the toddler crawls across the floor and gets grandpa's attention by touching his foot or something like that. And then we can have
memories, right? Of like
yes.
when the mother was a child with him.
Mm-hmm. So here we have mom is a child, and she starts crying, and instead of being distracted with like an iPhone or with some sort of plaything, she is soothed by maybe her grandpa singing to her or something. And so then we have that memory. Same thing over here. Maybe she's a little bit older, and so she interrupts grandpa by grabbing his leg. Same moment as maybe over here. And then she is, instead of being distracted, she's something else. Maybe he swoops her up and swings her around, and that's a splendid memory. And then right here, I think grandpa picks up the toddler.
This is where he picks up the toddler this time, not the toddler.
Yeah, exactly. So here the grandpa picks up the toddler, and this is basically the moment when he is no longer zoned out, but now he's woken up. As he picks up the toddler and holds the toddler in his arms, that's when mom sees toddler and grandpa, stops, tells the person on the other side of the phone, hey, not today. All right, I'll call you back tomorrow. And then she goes over, joins grandpa in his moment of lucidity, and enjoys that moment. And scene.
So that's the basics of what we've come together for the story right now. Isaiah has full freedom to adjust the story, change the story as he wants while he's writing it, and we'll see some of his progress as we're going on in the next month. You'll see the final product on the screen, but we really would like to have your thoughts, your input. Go ahead and give us some comments. What do you think of suggestions? Maybe some memories you've had as a child that we can maybe incorporate into this, whether it's memories when you were a kid or memories when you're older with your grandkids or kids, something like that. We'd love to hear from you and get some of those real meaning connections, not just make up some here, but actually have some real connections with the story. So we'd actually love to hear from you for that.